welcome to the second instalment of my super simple Christmas crafts little mini series. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this wreath Christmas card, or you could use it as a tag or something or whatever, but this is what I call a grandma card. In that, the amount of time and effort it takes and the fact that it looks quite nice means it's something you give to someone like your grandma, someone of that sort of level of importance. So grandparents, parents, you know, great Auntie Mabel, you know, someone of that sort of calibre because of the time and effort it takes, and they usually appreciate something that looks like it's taken some time and effort. Now, obviously, it does take a little time, but it is, of course, super simple to make. So yes, it's just this very pretty wreath card, opens like this, and I will probably write my sentiment on the back here is what I'm going to do. So this one is sort of the more traditional looking one, using the first edition Merry Little Christmas and a Gift of Christmas paper pads. But for today's tutorial, I'm going to go for a more modern look. So it will be a silvery, whitey, that kind of thing. So you will need a glue gun, some felt, your card blank. Now, a template for this will be up on my blog. Otherwise, it's quite simple to just cut it yourself, or if you've got circle card blanks, just use one of those and cut out the middle of one side. Or, as I said, yes, there's a template which you can there will be a silhouette file for silhouette users, and there will be just a normal template. You can fussy cut it. So that's one thing. And then you will need a load of holly and ivy leaves cut from paper. I've used 3 different papers for this, one of which is double-sided, so there's kind of like 2 different colours there, and a glittery one and a silver foiled one as well. And just like last time, there is a cut file and or a template for these on my blog if you would like to use them. But if you have a holly die or an ivy die or anything like that, then just go and use those. That's fine. I'm just providing the template just to be a little bit helpful. And just to help you visualise, the paper pads I've used is the Merry Little Christmas 12x12 for the card blank. The reason I didn't use this is because of the size of the card blank. It needs to be a sort of an A4 size thing that you need to cut, and obviously the 8x8 isn't big enough, but this is what I used for all of these little bits. And lastly, a star punch, or again a die, or if you have a cut file you can go for that, and some glitter cardstock, which I don't have within reach at the moment, but just imagine some glitter cardstock. I'm going to go for blue, just by the way, just FYI. Optional extras include, for the inside, a die cut sentiment and maybe some stamps. I've embossed some holly, so just stuff to put in the middle for your optional extras. So yes, let's get going. Now, most of this is going to be pretty darn obvious because it really is. It's a super simple Christmas craft, but I'm just, you know, giving you the idea and letting you run into the woods and play. I don't know, whatever. But yes, so first, just want to cut some felt to add an extra layer onto this, because otherwise it's just not gonna, it's just gonna get all, yeah, it needs to be nice and sturdy and stiff. So if you have a die to use instead, then go for it. The reason I am not, sorry, I'm looking for a pen while I'm trying to talk at the same time, not a good idea. Pen. There we go. So yes, the reason I'm not doing this on my silhouette is because silhouettes and felt don't get on very well, quite famously. So, and it's simple as to just draw this. Is that working? Not very well. What pen did I use last time? Let's try this one. Oh, that's good enough. All right, so I'm going around this very, very roughly. As you can see, we're going to neaten it up when we attach it, so don't worry about it. And yes, I did just draw on that, but it won't matter because it won't be seen. But do try not to draw on the other side. That would be inconvenient, really. So just really, really roughly drawn there. Again, if you've got a die or whatever, go for it. If you have some sort of magical something to make a silhouette cut felt, then go for that as well. And just cut it out. So do that. I think I'm going to just cut the not just the felt, but also the footage, and come back to you when this is all cut, because you don't need to watch me doing this. Right then, as you can see, this has been beautifully and perfectly cut, and we're just going to attach it onto here with the glue gun, because that's the best way to do anything. Is my glue gun hot enough is the question. It'll do. So, ooh, there we go. Just to squelch it on. Glue guns are fun. There we go. Oh, I've got a, oh, we got a drippy bit. Sort that out in a minute. Right, and then just lay that on to there, like so. Sort out the massive mess you've made with the glue gun if your name is Grace. Ugh. Right, so after that you just want to neaten it up a little bit around the sides. It doesn't really matter from the front because it will all be covered, but when the person opens the card you don't want them to see messy felt. So just neaten up around the edges. You may well have done a much better job of cutting the felt than I have. Actually, that's pretty likely because I've done a very appalling job of this. I promised you when I promise you when I did the first one I didn't mess it up quite so much, but you know, it always happens when you're doing it on camera. It's gonna mess up. Right, the inside is a little harder to do, but there we go. Right, I'll come back to you when I've finished doing this. Right then, now that that bit's done, I'm just gonna punch out a couple of glitter stars. They're kind of like the equivalent of the berries that are on this one, so just like a little couple of them just in little places just to look cute and whatnot. So punch a couple in silver. I don't want too many in silver because most of what is in here is silver, but unfortunately the only blue, get out, glitter card I have is quite blue, so we're having to just turn it down a bit with a couple of silver stars. At least that's what my what the idea is in my brain. So yes, punching a bunch of these, and yes, be back to you in a mo. Alright then, let's get going. So I've divided up my leaves into big holly, big ivy, little ivy. That sounds like a tongue twister. But yes, I've actually cut, because I've cut 3 papers worth of holly and ivy leaves, I've got way more than I will need for 1 card. I might squeeze 3 out of it, but if not, there'll be at least 2. So yes, you don't need to cut this many if you're making just 1. And I got my little pot of stars as well. So all there is to it is sticking all these on with a glue gun. That's it, really. So yeah, just get started, really, is all you have to do. The only thing is just keep in mind that you don't want too much sticking out in the middle there, because especially with the papers that are single-sided, you're going to get a bit of white poking through. Not too big a deal, but just something to keep in mind. And yeah, keep going. I try and do it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. At the bottom here, you don't want things sticking out like that, obviously. So with your bottom leaves, like, do something like this, so it's nice and flat. As you're doing it, test it occasionally to see if it gets wonky or anything. Make sure it's going to stay standing. And yeah, there it is. So I'm going to do mine. I will speed it up because it does take a while and you don't want to listen to me the whole time, and I can't think of things to say to keep me going for that long. So yeah, all right, let's do this. unfortunately my camera died as I was just towards the end of putting all the holly leaves and stuff on, and I didn't realise, so I actually finished it off, but there's not much to tell you. Apart from adding all the stars and stuff, I added this silver glitter die cut, says 'tis the season, and I backed it with the blue glitter paper so it helps, you know, the phrase itself be seen, because otherwise it gets lost in this background. And yes, there it is. And as my camera died, I had time to make another one. So there's another one. This one says Christmas on the inside, and there's like these little snowflakes, which I just did with a snowflake punch. So there's one there, and this one's got gems instead of stars on. And because I didn't have enough to make a third one of these with all these holly leaves, I thought I'm going to experiment with the card shape, and I made this with the Helps Couple Ditch Wonderland collection. So it's a bit different, but I just wanted to let you know that if you're not fancying cutting out all the holly leaves and ivy leaves and stuff, then the circle card blank is probably really handy to make all sorts of cards that they're a bit different, aren't they? A bit more interesting than your average card. So yes, there you go. If you're not interested in doing the wreath thing, feel free to just use the circle card template thingy that, as I keep saying, will be available on my blog and linked down in the description box. And there we have it, another super simple Christmas craft, the wreath card, and also this one as well that I just, yeah. Anyways, so yes, as I keep saying, templates and everything on my blog, silhouette cut files and PDFs for non-silhouette people to use as templates. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed. I should have one more super simple Christmas craft coming. I do have a vague idea for what to do for it, but if there's anything you would like to see, then let me know, because I could maybe fit another one in as well. So if there's anything you'd like to know how to make that I might know how to make, I don't know, I can't promise anything, then please ask. But for now, happy cutting and glue gunning. There we go. Okay, I'm going. Bye.